We are Brooke and Gary. One Life has been our home for the past 2 years and over 6,000 nautical miles. In our last episode, we left Panama and sailed to Golfito, where we officially checked in to Costa Rica. We hope you enjoyed this episode as we set sail again. We're just chilling on One Life this morning. I'm doing some editing, and Gary is taking a look to see what we need to do on our autopilot, and he just told me to bring the camera, so we'll see what's going on back there.
So I'm back here taking some measurements to figure out exactly what parts we need made to install our new autopilot drive. And while I was just looking around and doing some measuring, I noticed that the pin on our steering just about fell off. So on our last sail, we were less than an inch away from losing our steerage, which is pretty scary.
Are you serious? That's really freaking scary.
Yeah.
Do you think that's why we were having like fits with the autopilot?
No, it's independent of the autopilot. So the autopilot still would have been able to steer us, but we would have lost our steering at the wheel. But here, I'll show you what the problem was. So in this pulley here, which has one of our steering cables, there's a pin. And if you look at the back here, the pin has almost slid all the way out.
Oh, wow.
So here's what it should look like with the pin through the pulley. And on this side, not so much.
How did that happen? Did this came off?
It doesn't look like they had one installed on.
How did we
this
not
side.
have noticed that? When was the last time that you checked this? Because I know you check our steering quite often.
Before our last sail.
And it was fine.
Yeah. I mean, I look under here pretty much every time we do a passage for things like this. But yeah, definitely important to check your steering system. Good thing we caught this now.
Yeah, we have lots of sailing in our future, so. That's definitely not something you want to find, but better for us to find it now and get it fixed than just completely lose our steering and have no idea what happened. So thankful that Gary is on top of things like that. But anyway, we're gonna continue to do some chores around here this morning. And then this afternoon, we are going to a rodeo. Gabby from the marina that helped us with our check-in process, we were talking to her about things to do in the area, and she told us that she was going to a rodeo today, and we decided to tag along with her. We just found out that this is the first rodeo since COVID 2 years ago. So it's pretty exciting that we're able to make it to this one. And there's something like 700 people coming. We sold 700 tickets, so it's pretty cool. Far from any of the typical Costa Rican tourist traps is the town of Escuadra. Nestled amongst palm oil farms was the rodeo ring, where everyone gathered in line to wait for the big event.
All right, we are in the arena waiting for the rodeo to start. What do you think?
I've never been to a rodeo like this before.
I thought you were a Missouri country horse riding girl.
I am, but I think this is all bull riding, and I'm very excited for it. Before long, the arena opened, and everyone filled in to grab their spot. The event started with the introducing of the Cowboys, and we began to notice all of the men lining the interior of the ring, and then it was time for the first bull ride. Yep, that's right. When the cowboy falls off, all of those outlying men start running in front of the bulls. Occasionally, a bull would roll one of the men and leave the crowd roaring with excitement. We watched this happen time after time. It was a wild event. Outside the rainforests and waterfalls, Costa Rica is rich with culture, and we were so thankful to get to experience a taste of it.
All right, we just took a taxi to the port captain's office here in Golfito because we are ready to start moving north. So we need to get a national Zarpe, which allows us to sail from here to Quepos, and there we'll check in there with the port captain in Quepos. So we're going to go to the office and see how this goes. Brooke has the paperwork all ready.
I don't have the paperwork ready.
It's not filled out yet. It's all in Spanish. It might take us a minute. Okay, we have our national Zarpe to Quepos, so we are clear to leave Golfito now. We are fully refueled now. We needed 158 liters of diesel, which is about 45 gallons, which is quite a bit, but there's just no wind here in the Pacific up and down the coast here. So there's no wind today, so we'll be motoring a little more, but it is what it is. Hopefully when we get a little further north, we'll pick up some winds.
Well, we just put out our head sail and our mainsail, and we are tacking our way out of the bay here. We have about 10 knots of wind, but it's the direction that we want to go. It's right in front of us. But that's okay because our trip from Golfito to Bahia Drake is about 70 miles. And we left around 11 a.m. and if we average 6 knots, that puts us there in the middle of the night. So we're just gonna take it slow, tacking our way back and forth to hopefully get there as the sun comes up in the morning. Right?
Pointing as high as we can to try to tack our way out of Golfo Dulce, and we just really can't point that high. Our sails on this boat are nearly 20 years old, and our Genoa in particular is just really bagged out. So we can't really pull the sail in tight. to be able to use it as like a wing to go into the wind. Instead, it's really bag shaped. So the wind kind of hits it and it just pushes us sideways and backwards instead of working like a wing to drive us forward. If you look up at the sail right now, you can really see the bag in it, even though we've got the sheet in as tight as it'll go. The other thing is that we've noticed that we heel over a lot more than other boats, and we think that's because our sails are so old and blown out. If you look at how much we're heeled right now, it's like 10 to 20 degrees, and the wind's only blowing about 10 knots. So that's a lot of heel for a heavy boat and not a lot of wind. In fact, I just heard dishes fall down below.
Hoping to be a little less heeled over, we decided to see if we could point into the wind a bit more comfortably with our staysail. Our staysail definitely reduced the amount of heel, but unfortunately we just weren't making much speed. So after a couple hours, we put our Genoa back out. The sun is starting to set here, and we just had a dolphin show. I'm not sure if I got any of it on camera because it was a little hard to see them. They were quite a little ways from the boat, but they were jumping and playing. It was really cool, and especially with the sun going down. It's pretty amazing. They're right over here. Oh my gosh! Wow!
Oh, I did it again.
Wow! We just spent our afternoon tacking back and forth, and we still have 52 miles to go, so I'm pretty happy that we decided to leave early and give ourselves plenty of time to tack around out here. Time to tack again. Do you want me to do it this time? Tacking.
There's something really magical about sailing around sunset time. Brooke just went down and turned on our navigation lights, and it'll be dark pretty soon. So we're gonna keep tacking our way around the point here. This is Matapalo Point, and we've got to work our way around it and then head west. But hopefully it's a nice chill night with wind just like this. I think we'll probably be tacking all night, so to travel this 60 miles, we're gonna end up sailing like 100 plus miles, but that's all right. We've got all day and all night.
So we are settling in for the night for our night watches. And I actually have a call set up with two of our buddy boats. One of them is in Grenada right now, and one of them is in the Bahamas, and I'm gonna see if I can reach them on our SSB radio. We said that we would give it a try at 6:30 my time and 8:30 their time, so we just turn on the SSB and I'm gonna give them a call, see if they hear me. Reverie, reverie, reverie. This is One Life. Well, I tried calling them and all I hear is static. So I'm just gonna let the static play and I'll try again to call them in like 15 minutes. I just heard Reverie call us. See if they can hear me. Reverie, reverie, reverie. This is One Life. Do you copy?
One Life, this is Reverie. Copy. A little noisy, but I can reach you. Over.
Yeah, I hear you pretty well, actually. Over.
Get some coordinates going. Where are you?
We are at north 08 degrees, 18.7 minutes, west 083 degrees, 14.5 minutes.
So we have 52 miles to go, so we're hoping our ETA is sometime tomorrow morning. Over.
Well, it's about 2 a.m., so I am halfway through my night watch. Been up for about 2 hours, Brooke's down below sleeping. And we're just kind of ghosting along out here. The wind has pretty much been on the nose everywhere that we've tried to go today. So we are still making long tacks to try to get to our destination.
It's 5 a.m. and Gary let me sleep mostly through the night. Yeah, he let me sleep an extra hour, which is really nice. We're still just moving along. We're moving quite slow, actually. We've been tacking back and forth, and it almost feels like we're tacking on the same line. So when I went to bed at midnight, we had about 55 miles to go, and now we have 45 miles to go. So we've really not made much ground. I think there's a lot of winds, or not winds, I think there's a lot of currents against us. But who knows, maybe we'll spend another night out here bobbing around. It's really nice conditions, so it's been easy so far. We've got a little lightning here behind us, so I'm gonna keep my eye on those clouds and the way that's moving. I just checked it on radar and it looks like it's maybe a small storm, but I'll keep my eye on that. And Gary just put the fishing lines out before he goes down for bed. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna get a pretty good sunrise. Gotta make a coffee and enjoy my watch for the next 4 hours. Gary just woke up and he's like, we're barely moving. He's right, we're only doing like 2.5 knots. Now we have 38 miles to go. When I started my shift, we had 44 miles to go. And I did one tack. And yeah, we're just not making any ground. So it's, I don't even know what time it's at, 9 a.m. If we started motoring now and we motor it at 6 knots, we could make it there before the sun goes down, or we can just continue to tack our way through the night. But I think we need to make a decision pretty quickly as to what we're gonna do. If we're gonna motor, we should do that now.
Yeah, I mean, we're really still moving now, but if the wind dies completely and then we're forced to motor, it's gonna be kind of obnoxious. But we can motor slower too.
We decided just to keep sailing. We're doing 3 knots, but not in the right direction necessarily.
It's the direction we can go.
It is the direction we can go. Sailing's funny. We probably could have walked to Bahia Drake faster than we were sailing. but what fun would that be? Right, it is almost 4:30 and we still have about 15 miles to go, but our last tack pushed us in the direction we needed to go and the wind has been holding. So it looks like a nighttime arrival for us. It looks like we will get there right after sunset, but Gary and I looked at the charts. It's a pretty big bay, so we're pretty confident we can get in with no issues. Hopefully that is the case. We don't like to do night arrivals in a place that we're unfamiliar with. But it doesn't look like this one will be too tricky. We just got the spinnaker up and now it's raining. We were watching this storm cloud the whole time and it looked fine, and now it's rain. So we're waiting to see what the wind's gonna do here. We're debating on dropping it.
So if it does pick up and turn downwind, I'll release the tack line and we'll pull it down.
Turning downwind! Easing! Alright! As soon as we got the spinnaker up, it started raining and we quickly took it down because we started seeing some squalls. And now the rain stopped and we have like 8 miles to go. But we just turned our water maker on and we're motoring. So we'll motor the rest of the way in and hopefully we'll get there in another hour. The sun is setting on us.
Wind's clocked around after the rain to the north, which is now the direction we're headed. So we could keep tacking and maybe get there by tomorrow morning, but we'll motor for an hour and get in. Time to get the hook down and get some sleep. Can you hold this up here for me?
Yep.
Okay. Well, Brooke made tacos as soon as we got the anchor down, so it's time for the cold beer and getting to bed. So we'll see what it looks like here tomorrow. It's kind of scary coming into a place at night, but the cool part about it is when you wake up, it's a surprise. So we'll see what it looks like in the morning. Good night.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching.